All right, what is up with it, people? Welcome back to Team Fortress TV 2. Once again tonight here with ETF2L coverage for season 37. It is Premiership week 7, so playoffs soon to come here. But before that, a few more games left to be played here. Some more relevant than others. We already talked about it beforehand here. The stakes for this one are fairly low. However, results, even if they don't matter, will still be impactful to see if teams are up to the task for playoffs. With me here on the production is Blobchap, and on the mic with me, Surny.
Heyo, how's it going?
Pretty good,
Having a good time, hopefully. Yeah, that's good to know. I'm obviously, as usual, a little tired, but I hope we can get some interesting plays out of these teams nonetheless. As you've mentioned, the results or the outcomes of this match should probably not matter for the
Yeah.
greater standings of the season unless something horribly goes wrong in any other match, or even this one, you never know. Overall, it's basically guaranteed that Buskrew are going to make playoffs and KRITZBERG are going to place 5th. But actually, no, new team is still going to play, right? So actually,
no, they did yesterday. The results are just not submitted, I think, on the website. I believe on our thing, if we had it up on this stream or on TFTV1 stream, should be updated. They won that with 5, so they will be above KRITZBERG unless they win this.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. But they're, the results are set in stone either way. So this is basically the match where the players are going to try to farm as many cool kills for the frag video that Beater is going to make at the end of the season.
Hopefully. If not anything else, we talked about that already as well, is the Busker, like you mentioned, Iron players, they will guaranteed be 4th. They cannot overcome Swift anymore. Swift can at best still get 2nd even out of their game tonight as well. But Busker is 4th. They will have to play playoffs. They will have to manage what at the time was an upset over Swift. Actually, no, they lost that. But it was really close, actually, right?
Yeah.
It was like 4-2. Yeah, that's the tie. I guess it's still probably a different result than some people expected anyway. They need to do better than that next time around if they want to continue on into playoffs. So even if this game maybe doesn't like largely matter to the polls, Busker still needs to get any practice they can get here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if they want to have a good running in the playoffs, they're definitely the weakest team headed into there, and they've had some hurdles to overcome throughout the main 7 weeks. So it's definitely going to be a good practice round for them here. Very, still a formidable opponent to go up against. Definitely, if you meet KRITZBERG on a good day, they can mess you up decently well. So wouldn't surprise me that if they wanted to actually put up a fight here, obviously KRITZBERG might not take it as seriously, but if they want to put up a fight here, to give the bus crew a little bit of that courtesy practice, then we could see an interesting match, even if bus crew are going to be expected to win.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be surprised if the KRITZBERG roster in some capacity stays alive throughout the near future, at least. I mean, many of these players have played for quite a while, let alone with each other as well. So this would just be a scrim as any other, basically, and it's just impacting the season standings, I guess. If they really want to go for it all and really don't want to let Charlie and his merry gang of gamers overtake them in the tables, then they have to get a difficult result here. They need, I believe, a whole 5 points to be ahead of them. So they have to have the big upset by seeding here over the bus crew. I don't know how much it is in terms of like just keenness in them right now, but it is possible, and that might just be the motivating factor for them they want to have.
I mean, they've also had a pretty decent running for a team that spent it's like this is the first season in Prem for them, right? So
maybe not players wise, but
not players wise,
roster, yes.
As this roster in Prem, I mean, for that's a decent running, Not placing last in your first Prem season is already pretty decent, I would argue.
I mean, not even that, but like, they had close results with everyone they were expected to have close games with, exactly like they wanted to, and getting, I think, a straight win somewhere as well or something like that. So it was pretty decent overall, not quite enough maybe to overcome Charlie's team and a new team, unless they can just manage a mad one here.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that is going to go. Our maps are going to be Metalworks and Process, so some mainstays. At least one of them, definitely. The other one, still a little bit more
if you're American.
To the European site. Yeah, it's more of a mainstay if you're American, exactly. That being said, though, there should be very interesting because they play a little bit differently, these two maps.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it often comes down to just like a familiarity issue. I think with Metalworks that it tends to be a lot different from a lot of the other maps as well. People just like be approaching it a lot more carefully. We'll see how these teams do it, I suppose. Certainly, Busker has been the team to not be shy of playing itself. They have to. KRITZBERG honestly been like a little bit more on the aggressive side, relatively speaking. Whenever they can, at least. The question is if Busker will let them, then that's a whole different story, because Even if this game necessarily doesn't matter, quote unquote, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think Busker wants to lose this one.
I mean, they wouldn't want to. No, obviously not. It's gonna be interesting to see how, especially KRITZBERG, try to approach this match, because for them, we said it does not matter, and if they're keen to like just keep practicing, keep the ball rolling, maybe get a couple of cool frags or whatever. It's basically the game boils down to them, right? The game boils down to how they approach this match, how they want to do things here. If they're gonna take it seriously or not, if they're gonna start memeing 10 minutes into a round because they're like, whatever, we don't really care. I think that's what it's gonna boil down to, as as dismissive as it might sound.
I mean, we know one man who's gonna try his heart out, and that's gonna be Bebop.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, he's always been the one that's just like, no matter what his team does, no matter what happens, he's always stayed very serious. But, who cares about that when you can just have cool little kills? I wonder if when I'm in spectator here, this is an important question. Can I use the secret Saxton?
Ooh, I don't think so, because you're not actually on the server, technically.
It allowed me to press use on it, but then it didn't get used. Probably because the item servers are dead. Like, can you imagine that it's
No, I would imagine because you're technically not on the server of anyone.
Yeah, that too. But
if anyone, I would get the thing.
This game's been out for 13 years. There's been a big update around Christmas every year, and the item servers still die because of overloading.
I mean, it's incredible. Like difficult and stuff. Well, the only thing that is going to happen now is the match starting here. The gift of giving is maybe giving the Busker a chance to make the table positions look better, or maybe it's going to be KRITZBERG who's going to get a nice little Christmas gift here into the end of the season here, and maybe get the 5th place they had for so long this season in the bag. Let's see how this goes on mid-fight number 1 for Metalworks.
Yeah, I'm already watching Stan here with that festive sticky bomb launcher, lobbing some bombs, but he's gonna be the first to get killed. Warp is gonna trade with him immediately after. Paparazzi also get taken down. There's a lot of players actually on KRITZBERG dying. Only Bonkers and Graba left right now, and both are running for their lives. Graba's already way out. Bonkers is gonna get caught out, and that's gonna be an easy mid for the Busker here. They're only gonna roll it into second as well, as KRITZBERG might try to set up a little bit of a defense with Martin already taking his combo to the shutter. They're gonna not hesitate at all here. They're gonna take that Uber into last as late as they have to, but as soon as they can, with their team backing them up.
Grabber lived this, and they try to get in there before he has, but at this point, by the time they actually get here, everyone's spawned again and actually trying to make their way through to the medic is really, really difficult, so they're just playing it safe.
Yeah, they're actually just gonna decide to wait in the lobby and maybe send in little soldier here for a play, as all of KRITZBERG are just hanged up with those off classes. We've got the NG building center, we got the pyro as well. They're just really hoping to hold this as best they can. Misha is gonna go down, and Jevon is also gonna bomb in, but he's only really gonna have to settle for people on the bridge here. He's gonna live for surprisingly long, but he's not gonna kill anybody. And Paparazzi's gonna get that sentry built up with absolutely no contesting whatsoever. So they're gonna hold on to that last for a little bit longer.
Yeah, so far so good. Keep the NG alive as well. What they're trying to peek forward here. Getting out of this point can be difficult if you don't have much more than a mere single kill right now, but at least making Busker have to think about it. But they're just not finding an entry here. Shutter stick it off. Every scout on the server is just looking at the wide open door onto the cap here. So there's just so little they can do right now. The Poles need something better here. They need the Busker to make a misstep into this last one here at some point. Gun is under the bridge as well, for what it's worth, which, I mean, it doesn't cover quite as well, but it also is harder to take down. We'll see how much that comes into effect, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, you need to peek pretty deep for it, I suppose. Depends how you're gonna approach that. It might not be able to deny as well.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It can at least, protect the below ground. But we also have Wanzu on the spy, by the way. He's in a very precarious position. And yeah, Jevon tried to jump into the sentry and died. Wanzu's in a very precarious position here. He's just waiting to try and get through the shutter, I guess. Weird position.
Oh, there he is. Oh yeah, he's taking his sweet time right now.
He really is, like, goddamn. I mean, there's nobody on the Busker that's like far forward at all as well. They're so far back right now. Basically just now by entering lobby again. They're really doing this very passively as well. I think they're probably aware of the spy coming out here potentially, so they're very careful not to extend players out too far, checking all those blind spots. For the most part, I suppose.
I mean, I'm a strong believer of at least being careful about the spy when there's not much happening in the semi for a while, but as the team on last, KRITZBERG has all incentive to kind of just not really do anything and let Busker do all the work here. They're in a better position. They're forced to take initiative, and they will, with the bombs coming through one, make that two, trying to get to the medic here. Good damage. Jevon nor Warped will live that one in the end. Close call here for Grabber. Both soldiers is right on top of him. Did end up dropping some players here. Spy also went in at some point. Also got Martin. We missed that completely during the sack here.
You might have missed that. I was watching. I don't know if Blob caught it on camera, but he did indeed just uncloak, walk in, get a nice little backstab onto Martin there, who was already low, to be fair, but still, nice cleanup kill. So that's going to be enough for KRITZBERG to push back out and take second here, basically for free. But they did have to use the Uber anyway, so that advantage that they had has indeed disappeared.
Well, it just shows once again that KRITZBERG's patience is being rewarded here. I talked about them liking to be more aggressive, but you just need to actually take fights who are fighting here, and certainly taking the sweet time was worth it, even if it was a little sketchy with the bombs coming through. They lived all of that just fine. And suddenly it's a whole different situation. They're back on second here. Martin, however, already built so much, and they don't have any more evals, so popping through to get actually out of this last point as well means it's pretty much dead even on these Uber charges. Both teams just building away. Busker, however, a little bit quicker to take some initiative here, all of them coming up towards the alley area.
And they're gonna pressure it a little bit for the time being, but only a little bit of spam, you know. They have a few players in there, but for the most part, Deli is very far forward with not much support on his own, and one misstep could really take him down here. Jevon is gonna bomb in deep, get on to grab and actually force him out, so that's gonna be a huge, huge force for the bus crew here. Sacking in 2 players for the medic, and they do manage to get the Uber out of it. Now, obviously, Martin's going to respond with his own to try and catch out any stragglers they can here. They do pick up Paparazzi. Maybe, they catch out Stan as well, but are they going to get anybody else, or have KRITZBERG decided to run away? Most of them have, except for Bonkers, who at least made a valiant effort to try to slow them down a little bit more.
Alright, nice adjustment as well by Busker to just do a quick counter-action Uber to try to chase through. Don't get a ton with this maybe as much as they wanted, but trying their most to keep this momentum up until last. Get a soldier, Beavon living for now, but everyone's on his case. Heavy out of spawn with the Demoman is a lot to deal with. He comes to bomb through. Trade 1-for-1 there with the heavy as the soldier. More spawns coming in. They're just trying to fight for their lives right now, but it's just slowly but surely whittled down on this cap here. And that will wrap things up. Certainly the quick Uber counter-reaction after the force for Busker just made all of this be a much quicker affair than it might otherwise have been, and certainly made it a lot easier, I think, as well here to just keep momentum up, chase all the way through last, and not let themselves up at all.
It was very interesting on that last push as well, because Deli died very early on it, and they still managed to put down enough damage on the cap, you know, people only trickling on one-on-one, so they really focused players down very well, even without the demo providing, protective fire there. That being said, on the second mid, he's feeling some heat right away. Bonkers is gonna get close on him, and Beaverman's gonna clean up that damage, and another one onto Aeolus as well. Jevon, in the meantime, is gonna try to respond with a bomb of his own. Not really gonna meet much beyond dealing a bit of damage, getting his scouts to clean up as well. It's looking like a better mid for the bus crew for the time being, as all of KRITZBERG have backed out of alley, and Jevon is on the chase. He's chasing fast, but he doesn't get another kill. So the combo stays alive for KRITZBERG, but they do lose the mid again.
That last rocket wasn't even that bad. Y-axis wise, that was perfectly on target. Just grab us straight to this other side of the second point to escape it. So, will not be the kill on the medic here. Grabber living once again. A much better mid fight either way still, despite it being lost for KRITZBERG. Sure, they're on second right now, or well, forward on alley, I guess, trying to make a play, but they have the medic still, they have everyone alive, they won't lose second at all, and in fact, quick to make a play here, as you can already see, soldiers trying to get through. Losing a scout for it in the end is better than losing both soldiers, I suppose, but it's still not much of anything happening in their favor here, so quick counter chase by Busker once again. Warp trying Bonkers before he can escape, and suddenly this opens up a lot of opportunities for the Busker here.
Yeah, they are only down a single player, so they still have a little bit of a man advantage. Jevon is only going to go in deep already, but he's not going to meet much for the start, and Wonju is going to just clean him up, who now finds himself in a little bit of a pickle there. He's going to get cleaned by Misha together with Beavern as well. Grabba's going to have to force his Uber to not drop anybody else, and suddenly, Martin has a full advantage. He's going to take that into second as well. Just push out all these remaining players, not even have to use. Paparazzi gets cleaned up again at the tail end as well. So they're going to take second here for free.
And probably not waste too much time before they make a push into last half, and both teams getting a last bonus in a second. So it's really just probably worth it at this point to wait for Nation and be ready to go to second. He's with the rest of the team here. Try to deal with this last pot as efficiently as possible. There's a gun, there's a spy, surprisingly as well. Wonshu has very little time to actually make this work. It's already coming his way and used immediately too.
Yeah, and I mean, the sniper on Beaver is not going to accomplish much either against shiny players who are already just shutting down everybody in the spawn. The gun as well as free player. 4 players now with Graba dead. There goes Stan. Only Paparazzi is left, and he's nowhere near to be able to contest the point here for much longer. That's a second round for the bus crew in the books.
Yeah, very quick and easy push. I feel like KRITZBERG thought maybe they had a little bit more time to work with here on this disadvantage on last, and actually they're trying to get a snipe and a spy play in. It's a little bit more time consuming, and obviously with the sniper as well, hopes that they don't use early. So they might have just miscalculated the timings here about that. Hoped that that might be the saving grace for last hold. Certainly not the case. Bus crew up 2-1 with this round starting, however, we'll see if that cannot extend as well here. The mid-fights have been really good for the Busker so far.
Yeah, maybe they can keep the momentum rolling, or maybe KRITZBERG find their footing in a third mid. Obviously, Soldiers going high, but not much happening just yet. Deli narrowly dodging a rocket, and Jevin is going to be the first player to go down. Stan is going to get traded instead, though, so that is definitely, in chess, you would call it a material advantage, as Beavern also goes down. Bonkers gets denied by a nice pipe, so even though KRITZBERG have the positions right now, Busker definitely have the players here, and they can reaggress more or less easily if they get everybody healed up in time. Beavern is still that they do have Wanzu in behind, but as long as he doesn't do anything within the next few seconds, then Busker can easily get back into this mid and turn the tide in their favor potentially. Or they can just get...
Backlines? No, they spot him immediately.
Okay.
Alright, and pretty disappointing leader for the Red Soldier, and with that, Busker is immediately trying to come back in. He will have to use early. Grabber has, they don't want to use quickly as well, but will end up just using through to try to chase them on the way out here. Maybe see if they can kill anyone. Martin certainly the slowest to get out of here, Stematic, but everyone's with him, and they just cannot stay in on that. And maybe get Grabber stuck in some bad positioning now as well on Ali. Quick counter kill on Javin, but that going down 2 for that is a huge deficit right now that they just cannot overcome anymore. 3 down on the side of the Polish team, just overextending a little bit too much into the bait for the Busker, and with the little they have left, they are trying to get to Martin here, but it's not looking likely at this point.
At this point, absolutely not. With only 2 players left and both of them being way out onto your second, it's going to be a miracle if one of them manages to get through that quickly. So I think KRITZBERG are going to be perfectly content here, trying to hold their second, trying to rebuild that Uber. They are significantly behind, so we might see Busker, or more definitely we'll probably see Busker push that advantage here as best as they can. Warp's going to open up some space, unfortunately going to pay with his life though. Now Wanzu's going to tear up the combo a little bit. Misha's also going to go down, so 2 players dead for the Busker already, and health looking not that great either. They're going to actually have to back off a little bit. Deli's going to go dangerously low, but he does live. And the KRITZBERG players are certainly going to chase this as long as they can. But Uber does come out of Martin, obviously, and they're going to get Graba, so that's all they really needed with this Uber. Anything else they can grab, as Paparazzi there, for instance, is just another bonus. Bonkers isn't going to accomplish much either. And that's going to be a good play for the Busker here. They're going to take second off the back of it with only Wanzu alive. He might be able to do something cheeky here.
Oh no, it's spotted instantly.
Yeah, as long as they look at every door and are aware of him, he's not going to be able to pull anything off.
At least he lives for now, and they can fall back to last and try to do something here with the players up right now. But they're already on cap, much before they can even get buffs ready, and Bonchu just gets juggled off the point by Warp. And that's already the end of the round here. Very clean stuff by the Busker so far. It just feels like most of these Uber fights, or whichever Uber situations like ensue here right now, Busker is approaching just that bit more intelligently, let's say. They always have like a little bit more of a plan going with that, and it just makes enough of a difference to really fall apart here for KRITZBERG. Unfortunately for them, they need 3 rounds to try to make a comeback happen. That's a big task ahead of them here if they want to not go to the first map without any points.
We're gonna have to see if they really... It's really about finding their footing here. They are getting steamrolled, and as the bus keeps rolling, the bus crew just keeps getting better and better. They do pick up Nation and Jevin, so it's turning in their favor very quickly on this mid so far. At the very least, Deli's caught out as well. Finally gets taken down, and with Martin dead, no heals for the remaining players. Only Warped is in, and he does not get anybody either. So that is a demonstrably better mid for KRITZBERG here, wiping the enemy team. They're going to take second off the back of it as well. And they're already going to roll players into loss as best as they can, with respawners just now coming up. They might even have a chance to deny the spawners as best as they can here. I'm going to have to see about that, though. I think they took a little bit too long. The Sentry's already level 2, and they're just not... They don't have the positions on loss here to really do much. Yeah.
Lots of damage by Warp there as well. They need to be careful to not be in too early here. Like, luckily get him in the end as well. Stand with a nice quick pipe there, but Grabber still has to use pretty early, courtesy of Javin's damage there as well. So Uber chases far and deep, trying to catch anything. Paparazzi on point, trying to bait people onto this. The damage is just there enough, and I say it also often, but this point has a very small vertical cap zone, and that makes a huge difference when you just juggle people a little bit too high to not block it anymore.
Or when you jump a little bit too high to try and block it as well.
Yeah, either way, it's ending the same way here. This was a very quick response by the Poles here. Certainly, I mean, I talked about the US being maybe a little bit better for the bus group, but if they don't get any, that won't come into effect at all. They just did the mid better and just clean it up from there. Very well done. A few more of those, and suddenly it's a tight game again. Let's see if they can do that.
It looks like they might have actually found a little bit of a strategy here. Just snatch it from underneath the bus crew's nose. Let's see if they can pull it off again. Our next mid. There's been a lot of quick rounds so far, so I like that we're seeing a lot of fast-paced gameplay here. That being said, this mid is going rather slowly. Nobody's died yet. A lot of damage being exchanged on these containers here. But for the most part, finally, Warp is going to be the first player to get taken down trying to bomb in. And a lot of damage being done on these KRITZBERG players. Everybody's so low, but nobody's died yet. Both soldiers down for bus crew, meanwhile, means that they're going to have to back off and just give up their positioning here. Just give themselves content with the fact that they've lost mid and try to hold second as best as they can. They have Martin alive, so the Ubers are equal.
Alright, let's see how they approach this. For now, they have one down still, so they're taking their chances here. Vonchu through, everyone else trying to follow through with some more damage as well. And it puts Basque slowly but surely in the corner here that they're struggling to really get out of, but they're hitting the shots they need. Warp Delhi getting one each, they're grounding some players into the floor. Vonchu going down, bombed by Jevon. Now with the opening there to try to get force, and what happened pretty quickly too. 3 down, and an Uber that just cannot reach anything. Delhi trying to just put on a little bit more here for showing, tries to chase through all the way through the alley area, but just kind of gets stuck, unfortunately, for decent damage on the medic here, but not much of any results in the end. Nation maybe is more lucky. It wraps around the other way, and while they have to use themselves, Nation already behind the combo, cleans up Grabber, and this will wrap things up with no exit in sight for the red players here.
They really didn't have to use there, but Stan got a really nice pipe onto Martin and made him pop because Martin got actually scared by that, standing in the doorway, getting shot down by the demo.
Oh, they're just ending their way out of this on the Polish side right now. People were a little bit too far into lobby there, and they're just coming out of spawn and immediately bringing in the pain once again here, getting 3 already. Jevon stuck as well, just killbinds to
Stan is
make it
his
end.
Pipes. My man is really in the pipes
as well. He's just so deep already, does not let Medic escape. Huge by the Poles here, just not giving up at all. Sometimes that's just what you need to do here, and they saw the opening and went for it all, and it paid off greatly.
They're gonna snatch it from below Bus Crew's nose yet again. Gonna leave a single scout back to cap that second and see if they can bust this last hold as best as they can. They still don't have Uber yet, so if they can delay this for a few more seconds, they're definitely gonna have a huge advantage to push here. Already taken down 2 players though, one of them being a sentry. You know, they're also losing 3 players, 4 players now, so it looks like they're gonna have to give up on that dream for the time being. It's only Paparazzi and Graba left, and they're gonna have to run out of this for the time being.
This was on the verge of happening last time and last as well, though. They really don't want to waste much time actually going anywhere. Once they have, they just want to go in and get second. And sometimes the timing for that is just not there, and they played it a little bit too loose on this one here. Still, they have the Uber. They can probably just contest second back immediately with this and not have to even worry about using it all. By the looks of it, just get it back and maybe still have a tiny opening to do something on last, but it's going to get tough. At the very least, there's no off-classes just yet, so that's maybe as good as it's going to get. They're certainly taking the chance to stand, juggled into last already. Uber forced out with that as well. Onto the Devil went here, just a bit too ahead of the team with that. But it takes so long for them to get the counter about. That's not going to end well.
Yeah, absolutely not. With Stan dead now as the Uber has faded and everybody else so low and running away, it looks like it's going to be... Oh, that being said, there's 2 players dead for the bus crew, so the tides could very well turn in favor of KRITZBERG here very quickly. Martin's going to have to keep those last 2 players alive here. Jevon is going to get a kill, and as so does Nation, but Jevon is going to get killed as well. But Bonker's dead as well, though. I don't think it's going to be that easy for KRITZBERG to really re-aggress here. They might be able to hold down the lobby if there's any sort of re-push coming, but for the time being, they're going to have to give themselves content with not capping just yet.
Yeah, both teams' aggression there into second and last, respectively. Not quite good enough to get much going, but both of them were ready to retaliate really nicely there and keep the other team at bay. Keeps it exactly where we are right now, on second for KRITZBERG, on last for the bus crew. So things stayed the same for a little while longer here. Both teams with the snipe up as well, already for the stalemate. We've seen B1 snipe quite a bit the last few weeks, and he can snipe in chaotic games, so maybe he can also snipe in the calm situations. The Idol is certainly taking a bunch of damage already and actually gets cleaned up on by Vonchu as well, so that's really good news. Snipe out of the equation makes life a lot easier here for the entire team of the red team, especially B1. We'll see if they can extend on this one pick somehow.
We'll have to see if he can get an angle. Obviously, Jevon's going to try to hold that right side very, very close, make sure that Beaver doesn't get through there. Maybe he's going to try to go for a little bit of a different angle here, but he just doesn't find anybody. There's nobody. Everybody's just hiding, and they're waiting for Aeolus to get back up to try and counter-snipe him instead. So they couldn't quite make use of that sniper-free window as well as they might have wanted to. And it turns out, I'm going to have to maybe see a hero shot out of Beavern here. Aeolus is very far back with his sniping position, so can't really hold that many sight lines that easily. Beavern's just gonna get taken down, so...
Just overextends though for some damage into lobby, and that's just gonna be a much bigger opening. No, actually try to pop off this as well. See what he can get. Stand so far in with this to get the foresight. Will manage to do just that. Vonchu getting sniped on the way out as well. Jevon is not quick enough into lobby to chase anyone. In fact, taken down as well, but Warp just escorts people out of here and gets a few kills with that on the way. Grabber, the most notable one, of course. Gonna be a huge difference maker. Just KRITZBERG really wants to get these deep exchanges in, but they're still having trouble finding the timing to actually leave with it again on the other part of the Uber. I respect them trying for it, but it's just missing a little bit of a finishing touch here to actually work.
Oh, Beavern is in behind, but he can't win the fight quickly enough. That being said, his distraction might have been enough to slow down the last few reinforcements that could have helped on the second cap there. And his team is going to clean up the rest of them. Only Jevon left. This could just be an easy round conversion here if they don't completely screw it up on the side of KRITZBERG. And that's going to be the case. So they have done it yet again.
Huge bait by the Polish there. That is just a surprise push out of nowhere. All of them jumping the second point. And there you go, 3-2 Surny. It's a much, much closer game. I really like the fact that KRITZBERG is giving Busker a final challenge here before playoffs. This is exactly maybe what they need as well. Not take anything for granted before the final few games of the season and keep at it as sharp as they can be, even with the one sub, I guess, in terms of Nation here instead of Caper, as they can be.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that evolves for them. Maybe Busker are starting to feel some heat now. Delhi is going to trade for Bonkers, but that is definitely a trade in the favor of the Poles as they find themselves now on mid, fighting out some more. Stan goes dangerously low, and he does trade with Jevon effectively, as we now see. Okay, Nation taken down as well, so it's still looking good for KRITZBERG, and they're going to have the positions here, and they're going to be able to win out mid, but it was a little bit of a hard-fought one, and with Martin still alive, they're definitely not getting a huge of an advantage out of it as they might have wanted. But KRITZBERG are already on the chase as well. They're trying to push out these players as best as they can, deny as much ground. Aeolus is going to go down for his trouble. Wanju is just going to try to walk into lobby. Unfortunately, gets spotted and denied by Jevon. But they're just still on this point. They're still trying to go for this exchange. Grab is actually just going to drop, never mind. So much for that. That's going to be disastrous for KRITZBERG. These last few players, yeah, Stan and Bonkers, they're not going to try to contest this much at all. Bonkers, I mean, he's basically caught in. But Stan is just going to run for his life. That is absolutely disastrous.
I mean, a drop like that is never going to help much, so that is just really, really unfortunate every single time you see it happen, really. It's not much you can do about it, unfortunately, afterwards, unless you try to find a medic immediately, right?
Yeah, I mean, and then if he pops, well, too bad. You just lost that completely. So, Busker are going to be able to pretty easily roll this into second as well. Slight advantage still in their favor, but Wanju is just going to get a monstrous bomb through Valley, kill two people right away with Delhi down. That means a lot of damage is lacking on the table, and Beefern is up on the sniper too. Maybe a little bit of an odd play in this situation, but it could go in their favor as Wanju just continues his kill streak, now picking up Jevon as well. Rolling forward, they're going to retake mid here, push these Busker players out, again, make them feel a little bit of the heat. They might have the Uber ad, but they certainly aren't winning these fights.
Yeah, and that makes a huge difference, because if you just don't have the position and the players to really do much with the Uber, suddenly the opening with the Uber advantage is just gone in a matter of seconds, and KRITZBERG gets mid while on disadvantage here to just put them on second now with even Uber, and they have the time to play the slow game here. They have the time to let B1 snipe once again, see what they can get out of this one, and see if maybe someone takes the bait into a side lane here. They shouldn't peek at all. For now, most people playing safe right now. Martin notably not showing his face at all here, staying in the shutter door as much as possible. But if they are playing careful, then eventually B1 might just have an opening to go deep with that as well, as we have production issues. As you know, there was a TF2 update, which crashes the game a lot. If you ever watch games and your game crashes a lot, I would recommend putting Steam offline for anyone watching, just as a precaution. It tends to help for me quite a bit. Either way, we try to keep you informed about what's happening about production reconnect here. You know, this is a very good game.
Not much has happened. Beavern got a little body shot onto a scout, and then KRITZBERG looks like they're actually going to try to push in a little bit. They're getting a few frags going in their favor. No soldiers, notably, for the side of the bus crew.
Wait, Paparazzi's all the way deep in lobby. He was behind them as they tried to fall back into last. They get forced on the back end of lobby here. Beavern snipes on Delhi as well, which is huge. And suddenly this might just be opening up everything.
KRITZBERG now with a full ad looking to push last. They have a sniper, so it'll be a little bit difficult for them to accomplish a normal traditional push here. But with the full ad, they can take a lot of time with what they want to do here. We're gonna have to see how they approach this last push, as there's basically nothing except for a heavy on the side of the defense. Beavern gets another nice body shot onto Jevon, doesn't quite kill him though, and we're not going to see this push. Okay, the Uber does come out of the side of KRITZBERG, but they haven't accomplished much with it yet. They only pick up Delhi. Lose 2 players right after, though. And it's not looking like a good push for them whatsoever. Almost no time on the cap. Players are falling left, right, and center. There's only Grabba and Stan left. And they're going to get at least a little bit of contestant as they try to back out. But they're going to live, and that's going to be that last push. Botched by KRITZBERG, and a second probably free to take for the bus crew as well.
Alright, we might have missed a few things here, but we didn't miss a round being scored at least, so very nice of the bus crew to hold this last point at least once more here, before we clearly go into Golden Cap, which definitely isn't scripted. But yeah, for real, let's see how this continues. They have an advantage, they can certainly escape some trouble here if they make good use of it. But there's the drop, Vonju from drop down? I've never actually seen that happen, not even going down there, just spamming onto the medic, and Martin had no idea. I can't blame him for not seeing that one coming.
That was an absolutely insane play right there. As you said, it's very uncalled for. People usually do not check that spot whatsoever. That's going to be yet another wonderful situation for the KRITZBERG players to be in. Let's see how they botch this one. Am I right?
I'm not so sure. This is really good advantage. They might have failed an opportunity we didn't just see, unfortunately. Now, however, we can see them maybe succeed. Grabber has not used for this one. Barely his team manages to save him there.
Yeah, they're gonna fend off both soldiers trying to get onto Grabba. Man stays completely safe in the little shed, doesn't walk into stickies either, so they're gonna try to make use of this Uber as best as they can, and with both soldiers still dead, if they move quickly here, they can certainly gain a lot of ground on last very quickly. It's only a level 2 sentry. They're gonna use the Uber in through the far side. Sentry goes down immediately, but not much damage done just yet. The heavy gets taken down. There's a pyro up as well. He can blast people off the point and buy your team some time. And Delhi is just going to nuke down 3 people with a sticky trap. So suddenly, it's only Wanzu and Grabba left. And they're going to have to run for their lives as Grabba gets killed. And Wanzu, well, he trades with warps, effectively. Is he going to get killed? Well, actually, he might live.
He's wasting a lot of time, at least. But yeah, that's eventually him meeting his end here. This is such an unfortunate basic mistake to make. They just wanted to point so early, and 3 people at the same time tried to be the one baiting the sticks. That's just not ever gonna work, really. Delhi with a quick 3k out of this one just completely swings the fight around. That was looking to be a winning one. Unfortunately, completely turned around, and suddenly, from what might have been the Golden Cap, will turn around into maybe just a 4-2 at the very least. A much better position in the current scoreline here for the Basque, maybe even taking mid with this advantage.
We're gonna have to see how this develops, especially for KRITZBERG here, because that being said, Delhi's dead. They do have a very, very good shot here to still try to make it happen. Their Uber is not too far behind. With Delhi dead, Busker is certainly going to struggle with putting a lot of pressure on. They're actually going to Uber out because Martin gets dangerously low, so it's going to be very good if KRITZBERG can keep Grabber alive here, and as far as it's looking, they're definitely going to do a good job at that. Busker are going to have to just back off, losing warped as well. Means they're just not capable of fighting the player advantage of the KRITZBERG players here. They're gonna keep rolling it forward, keep putting on the pressure, not overextending too far though. They're really gonna try to focus out this point. They want that golden cap equalizing round at the very least, and obviously Busker don't want to let that happen either. They're already on the defense trying to just hold it for as best as they can. The Uber comes out of Grabba yet again. Same exact position, but this time around they actually pick up Delhi very, very early, so no stickies to be worried about. Warp is going to nuke down a couple of players on the point with Jevon, and suddenly the frags are falling in the favor of Busker yet again. Only Bonkers is left as the only damage dealer here. Grabba's going to try his absolute best to keep him alive, but a pyro on the point, you can't really do much against him as a soldier. He's still alive, he's still fighting, he might get Martin for it. No. Gets right-clicked on. Unfortunate.
They almost made a huge mistake there, Martin and Alos, by just separating each other so far apart there. when he really just needed to stay with the pyro or slightly behind him and airblast everything away. Waste time to get spawns up. Someone need a point so they can play it, obviously, as well. They almost threw that on the bus crew, just a bit. But in the end, once again, the point play just was too early. There was just too many people still around to just, I think, get like 2 quick kills once again onto capping players on KRITZBERG. It's not free this time, but it's still not good enough to make this go to a tight scoreline. They have a minute and a half left to play out something from this even Uber situation that is going to be ensuing here any second. For that matter, Paparazzi already on Spy, trying to be the hero here.
He's very far in, and he does have to get onto Martin here if he wants to make something happen. And we also have Nation on a sniper, so he's gonna also try to do the same for his team. But Paparazzi does not get the backstab. Unfortunately, he beats, but he does force Martin at the very least, as the Uber also comes in from Grabber in the meantime. So very bad Uber for the defending side, but it's not good for KRITZBERG either. With a player down, they've lost 2 players now in the push as well. And Busker are just going to try to lock this down as best as they can now with 40 seconds left in the match. As long as they hold onto this for as best as they can, maybe even cap second, they've got the game in the bag.
Yeah, capping up the second point certainly helps quite a bit to just give yourself an extra bit of buffer room here until the end of the match here. For that matter, Martin should probably have by then as well to just probably the last second. But either way, this was one hell of a game. They started off a lot more convincing for the Baskin and it ended up being, and the KRITZBERG side of things really made a run for it in the end, just falling apart a little bit too much on the last pushes, cap time, on bad timing and things like that, just making them fall apart a little bit here. Too much in the end. Another bomb through just for good measure, because we'll not get much out of this, and 3-2 will be our final scoreline here. Really interesting map.
Absolutely. It was not expecting KRITZBERG to not only find their footing so quickly, it was surprisingly fast into the match, even if it was 3 rounds, but then actually give Buskrew a decent running for the map here. Unfortunately, choking a little bit too much towards the end, but still, what a match. What a close map, at least so far. God knows how the story will change on Process, but for the time being, let's look at some numbers.
And you probably would have never noticed that I crashed 2 times during this map.
Oh, yeah, absolutely not. I mean, maybe it happened at convenient times, so that's nice.
Well, that's TF2 for you.
I mean, production crashed as well, so I'm actually
that's
not
just
surprised.
What happens when there's an update. Updates are cursed. Please don't update this game, thank you.
Like, stop updating the game, or at least don't do it on Thursdays, please, Valve. Like,
and
that's
definitely
the one
not
condition.
At 20 to 21 CAC. Anywhere after that or before that, I'm fine with it.
Like, aren't they American? Why do they update so early? I don't get it. It's weird. Anyway,
whatever.
Let's look at some numbers. So, immediately, what sticks out to me is that, numbers-wise, it looks like a game dominated by the Bus Crew.
That's like so heavily dictated by the early stages, I would imagine as well.
Yeah,
and a little bit by the end, by the very end, I guess, where it was just running into last and it not working, making like a noticeable enough difference, I think. Because overall, it was definitely not that at all.
Absolutely not, and that's the interesting thing, right? Because it was such a close scoreline and such a close match, especially throughout the end stages. Yet, because it was so dominant for the Bus Crew the first, like, I don't know, 12, 13 minutes of the map. The stats are still very skewed. And you can tell it was rather slow. There were a few stalemates as well. Nobody hitting 300 DPM. Delhi getting very close, but not quite managing. Overall, a lot of Ubers being used as well. 12 aside is actually quite a lot, I feel. You don't usually see that many. Yeah. Usually more around 9 or 10 in slower matches.
The change of mid-fight was also really interesting. You can already tell just by looking at the mid-win stat here. Vasco obviously with the better mid-fights early on, and they really were just a lot better in the first few. And then, like, for the third one, KRITZBERG just decided, you know what? How about we just win? And then just, like, wipe them twice on mid or something like that. Like, drastic changes coming out of them for the mid-fights, and just immediately have, like, huge swings of momentum from the mid-fight onward, lasting into at least one very quick round. Actually, for what it's worth, also a very quick round, despite the mid win on the Busker after, or the mid loss on the third round as well. So, yeah, I mean, KRITZBERG shows they can keep pace here towards the top end, even if maybe not quite enough to get the win, enough so to really make them work for it. So it's going to be interesting to see next map here as well, if they can get maybe not enough to overcome the deficit to new team, but maybe just pull ahead here and make their standings look a lot better either way.
I will want to see if they can turn the tide in their favor. It looks like it took KRITZBERG like a solid 10 or so minutes to really find their way to the match, and once they quote unquote warmed up, they were really giving the Bus Crew a run for their money, because Bus Crew, they were no longer in control of the game, right? As soon as that like third mid happened, where KRITZBERG won, even though they didn't win the round, as soon as they won that mid, I feel like the pace of the game drastically changed, right? So it's going to be interesting to see how they approach process and how that's going to overall change the game, because we haven't seen them play this map since the first week, so a lot might have changed.
Yeah, most notably, this was the map that KRITZBERG almost also got around out of or into the golden cap with Feint in week 1. And if they already are able to keep up with the Bus Crew on the Metalworks, this is maybe just a bit scary for them here, going into this map as well. I guess we'll see if that is a correlation here that we can use between those matches, but at very least, that's obviously a scary thought to have in the Bus Crew's mind. They certainly can't focus on that too much, just play their own game here and think about, first of all, what went well in the first half of the game and what needs to stop happening from the second half towards this map. There are obviously vastly different maps, but general ideas like that very much will still apply here.
Yeah, like they as I said, they seem to lose control at some point, and you can't know what exactly happened, what sort of shift happened within the team, right? In the team's mentality and whatever. Maybe people started getting tilted in the comms. God knows, right? You never know for sure. So a new map and like a little break as we're having now, because some people have decided to probably go on a smoke break or something, because that's what TF2 players tend to do. It might give them a little bit of a refresher, and they can reset themselves and try to find back into the match again. But yeah, it's gonna be do or die really for the Bus Crew to show that they can actually contend with the top, because if they're struggling against KRITZBERG, it's gonna be looking a little tough for them in the playoffs.
Yeah, they need a more convincing showing on this, I think, if they really want to keep up with Swift. We don't really, or at least I'm not really sure right now what's happening in the Swift Feint game, but if that's any close at all, let alone a win for Swift tonight, that is a scary-looking Swift for the remainder of the season that the Bus Crew will have to take the fight with guaranteed next week for the first round of playoffs.
I don't know where to put this, because I really think this entire map is going to boil down to whether KRITZBERG can just keep up their insane momentum that they've had for the second half of Metalworks there, and maybe iron out a little bit of the pushes that they were botching, because they had some really solid advantages on all those pushes and still managed to botch them at one point or another, either being a little bit too overeager, overextending a little bit too much, or using a little bit too soon, or anything like that, right? There's always a little thing that went wrong with every one of those, but it drastically shifted in the favor of the Bus Crew. Bus Crew seem like they are definitely the more defensive team, or like at least stronger defensively.
Oh, yes. I think so too, for sure.
So they can hold a lot better than KRITZBERG. So if we see KRITZBERG in control again, if they get enough chances to throw themselves at the defense, they might eventually crack it. But if Bus Crew manage to control the pace of the game again and take control of their offense as well, they can really exploit that, that worse defense, that more gaping defense of KRITZBERG, and really just turn this map around quickly. I think that's what it's going to be dictated by, is how KRITZBERG hangs on, how they try to control the pace, and vice versa, how Bus Crew find their way back into it as well.
Yeah, I think one of the big troubles that KRITZBERG had on the last map, on the last pushes specifically, was just awkward moments for cap time. There were men around, too many people tried to do it at the same time, maybe just a missed call where like everyone felt like they needed to be the one capping instead of just one person doing it. A lot of awkwardness around cap time ensuing very quickly a lot of the times on these last pushes for them. If they can somehow get this sorted a little bit better, maybe they have the priorities more sorted on this map here. This might be a different story, but first of all, they need to get there, and for that we have to get through the first mid fight of a map 2. It is CP process between KRITZBERG and Bus Crew. It is the first map going to the Bus Crew here. They are already safe in playoffs. Nothing about that can change anymore, but they can certainly still try and use any practice they can get here, because Swift is waiting in the wings for them.
And it's going to be a very interesting rollout from KRITZBERG. Stan's going to opt to just walk through sewer. Deli's going to take his pack as well. Very interesting mid, at least the start of it, but not much is going to come off it. And Nobody has died yet either. Players just jumping about, trying to take their ground. Deli's going to actually be the first player to pass it. Martin is going to just barely stay alive with 3 players going down for the side of KRITZBERG as well. It's only Paparazzi and Grabba left, and they're going to get chased down, but yeah, they might just get cut off out of sewer here. And it looks like they're aware of it, so Paparazzi was going to try to maybe go back in, but it just doesn't work out. Jevin was watching that door, so they're going to wipe on mid, and it looks like Bus Crew are back in the driver's seat.
Yeah, just a very solid mid-fight, not really letting anything too funny happen onto their half here. It's orders down pretty quickly, and from then on out, it's a lot harder to approach at all for the side of KRITZBERG. So Bus Crew nicely keeping this one up all the way to second with Grabber going down. However, this is not just going to end here just like that. They very much are on the lookout for the quickest push into last here. For that matter, gun up on last as well. Paparazzi sniping, trying to make this difficult and not let them get in for free as well. Jevin spots the gun for a bunch of damage. Will maybe waste some time healing him, but at the very least they are aware there is a thing now to worry about.
Deli's just gonna die to it. Alright. Martin is not gonna flash him during the Uber. He's just gonna let his demo man walk into the sentry gun and die to getting gunned down. So they're gonna lose him very early. They're gonna trade for Wanju in the meantime, and Warp is gonna get taken down as well. So KRITZBERG are gonna hold on to this loss pretty solidly, and are gonna go out of it with a 40% advantage as well. We're gonna retake the second off the back of it, as Bus Crew are just gonna recollect themselves on mid here and maybe reconsider why letting your demo man walk into a sentry on Uber is a bad idea.
Yeah, that was just a bit strange. They should have done a lot better than that, but they kind of just got ahead of themselves, maybe? Who knows? Either way, good news for KRITZBERG here. They're catching a break to get out to not just second, maybe just mid very easily. You still have advantage. You don't want to obviously use necessarily to this, but there's a lot of damage coming their way here. They might have to reconsider their choices here. Still able to return a lot of that damage pretty quickly here, keeping all of the Busker in track, and they can't pop to save themselves, so they need to be a lot more careful here. Deli gets fortunate enough onto the trap there with a 1 kill, but traded out immediately, forced further and further back. By the time they have now, they're like so far out of this midpoint, they probably will just have to say goodbye chances to get it back quickly. You don't opt to try to fight out with the Eber, so KRITZBERG played the slow and careful, but still fast enough to get in here quickly and actually try to get more out of this as well. Bonkers deep into second already, but can't get anything out of it.
Nice try by him there, but unfortunately he cannot keep the pace going. We're going to be looking at a second to mid stalemate, at least for a brief moment, as Bus Crew immediately run in and just nuke down Grabba. He's gonna drop his Uber, so immediately Bus Crew are definitely saying that they're business, and I can't even keep up with it. I don't know how they let just Grabba get absolutely nuked there, but it was such a beautiful, coordinated play. Obviously, KRITZBERG are gonna try to send as many players as they can for Martin, and they're gonna make him force, so at the very least, they equalize the Ubers there.
Well, this did not quite end the way KRITZBERG was hoping for, but like you said, fighting for as much of an equalizing situation as they can. Uber Force helps quite a bit. One through the backlines gets 2 for the price of 1 as well at the end of that one. Nation going down the very late. I mean, that's as much as one man can do here, and suddenly this is kind of fightable on mid. There's still only 3 up on the point. Sure, it says 4 up on blue, but one of them is just spawning right now, so they kind of have to be careful here. Warp rolls up as fast as he can, tries to put up a fight with his presence here, but is weak and has nothing loaded out of the fast rollout, so kind of just disappears immediately. They're trying not to give this up so badly, but they're just being outnumbered and know exactly they should have to play the safe. Vonshu saving them from so much trouble here.
Absolutely. My man is being a playmaker for his team. This entire match already, the last map as well. He's been making a whole lot of plays, and it's really working out for them. That being said, Martin is going to use his Uber in, and they're going to catch out Stan immediately, as well as 3 other players. So only Paparazzi left now. He's at least going to pick up Warped. Might be able to get a little bit of a second cheeky pick, but that's not going to happen. He's going to die as well. So beautiful play by the Bus Crew, only losing 2 players for a midpoint and an Uber, but you know, you wiped the enemy team, so yeah.
Deli wants some more kills as well. They are careful about it. They can hear those stickies probably flopping down on the shutter door. Don't walk into that one, luckily. Deli already did so much work on mid, though. Just deletes the medic here right away. They're just staying so far forward, despite not having just the trappings of trying to cap with as many people as possible, to cap as quickly as possible. Coming back to haunt them here and just getting walked over for that attempt to get away with the camp quicker. Unfortunate end for the Poles, but not out of it yet. Bus could beef 1 push already. Maybe the gun and the heavy can save them once again here, but they have to do some work because Martin has Eva already, and they're already in through 1 here.
Yeah, they're gonna really just try to take as much ground as they can before even having to use an Uber. One's just gonna get taken down, Graba as well, so it's not looking good for the KRITZBERG defense. Paparazzi done as well. The Sentry finally taken down with the Uber, but with only 2 players alive, you're gonna have a hard time contesting the point that is already capped out. That's gonna be the first round going in the favor of the bus crew, but it was a hard-fought one.
Yeah, it's only been 6 minutes and so many things already happened here on Process. You love to see it. Process can really be a mixed bag of pacing. It looks like both teams really want to fight for anything they can right now. Bosco just about coming out on top right now, but we'll see if they can keep this one up. If last map was anything to go by, no one's to be ruled out just yet, but that also includes just Bosco running away with it early. We'll see if they can. For now, Bonkers not sticking the landing here off the fast jump through to the other side, taking up pretty quickly. One down right away, and probably not a great position to keep the fight up from.
Yeah, and that being said, though, not much else has happened just yet. Players a little bit low on either side, but you know, they're only out of the fight temporarily. Deli's not going to take some aggressive positioning here. Warp is actually going to get taken down right in front of his brother, so they're going to trade for Wanzu that one, but it's still very, very equally fought. Both teams still with decent positioning as far as that is concerned as well. Jevin is going to get taken down, but he's going to trade for Beavern effectively. Deli's going to die as well, and that might just be the thing that opens it up for KRITZBERG here. They're going to be the first ones to get Uber as well. Martin disconnected from anybody for so long, just running away. So that if there was anything to seal that mid, it was going to be the Uber at the end, but they already managed to close it out that way. And Busker are going to have to hold second here to a very aggressive KRITZBERG that are already taking it in, actually.
Yeah, they want to get a bit more out of this one for the mid win they got. You need to be careful, those stand takes a bunch of damage early, and you don't want to just use the same one player here necessarily, but dealing a lot of damage on the Busker. They're really not making this easy for them to try to take any space as much as they want to. Getting a trade out of it, but Gremo going down, getting dropped as well. Grabber still using through despite Stan going down. He will get the force out, but can't even get out of here. DuMmTm doing a good job juggling Grabber around Uberface now and just floored instantly by those pipes and nowhere to go.
He's gonna have to pay with his life, and that's gonna be the bus crew coming out on top of this hold, as we predicted. They're just better at holding stuff. They're just doing a better job at it. Beavern is gonna try to contest a little bit as well. It doesn't accomplish much, unfortunately. And Busker just going to be dominating that fight, taking mid here. Probably going to be easily able to roll this into second as well. Maybe not as quickly as they would like to, but certainly after a few seconds, we should see them easily contest this. I mean, there's no way in the world that KRITZBERG can really fight this for very long, I say, as they do kill 2 players. So maybe I am full of crap.
Well, we'll see, I guess, how they play this one out. But for now, it's just a matter of trying to still fight through with the players down. They're making a good effort out of it on the Busker right now for as much as they can, but they have to worry about the player behind.
They definitely do, and he could tear some things up for them here. For the time being, it's not gonna happen, it looks like. Yeah, no, okay. They're just gonna have to recontest second, because now they're 2 players down, and the bus crew are here to try and seal this finally. KRITZBERG are really not trying to give this up. Obviously, they're going to get their medic out, but they're really going to try to hang on to this for as long as possible, buy as much time as possible, try to equalize the Ubers, which they're going to have for the last hold. So, it's going to be interesting to see how Busker tries to approach this push. Stan is very far forward here. He might just get caught out. He does get caught out, indeed, so that's going to be bad for KRITZBERG. Oh, no, no. If you're a KRITZBERG fan, you'd look at you're chewing your nails right now. Paparazzi is up on the heavy, so he can also try to sink a little bit of damage. But it's just nothing to block the point here, really. As people just get onto the point, they're just going to cap it out. Finally, the Uber comes out to try and block it with a micrometer of a cap time left. They're going to just have to stand on this point permanently. Otherwise, exactly that is going to happen. And the Busker are going to cap out a second round.
Yeah, Nation just steps on it last second, and there you go. I mean, you mentioned it already. They were so late to get to the point in the first place. That's just the lack of a development. Sometimes you need to commit bodies on it to really not let the cap time happen, and you never really want to be in that position. Understandably enough, it's obviously just getting people into bad position to play in. So immediately the risk reward of that is destroying and not in their favor.
Stan immediately nuked down on the mid-fight. Everybody on the enemy team was just so fast. Deli and Jevin just completely shut him down. They're going to pick up Warped as a trade here, but lose Wanzu in the process as well. So it's not a good mid at all. Jevin is already in deep, but unfortunately can't land the rockets he needs to try and get more done. That's a pretty good mid regardless for the bus crew. Basically decided instantaneously by Stan dying. Deli's gonna pick up Beaver and a cheeky little pipe as well, and they're gonna be looking to maybe even take this forward into second. That would be very, very eager of them here.
All right, let's see if they can make something happen out of the stalemate here. KRITZBERG specifically, obviously, in a position where that really needs to happen right now. Brosco can take this a tad bit easier for what it's worth, but still are the ones to put on the pressure here. Nation just walks through all of the second point, gets the kill, gets the force, maybe avenges his teammate. Now Wonshu at least will claim that one. Bonkers tries to help out with that as well, but might have just gotten themselves into a little bit more trouble than is worth here. They need to be careful now on the Polish side.
They definitely do, but they're doing a decent job at denying any of the follow-up bombs that could be coming through. One's who's going to obviously try to sneak his way in, does get shut down though. And with 2 players down and a full Uber on the enemy side, KRITZBERG are going to have to be very careful with how they approach this here. They're going to lose Beavern as well, so they're not even going to regain any sort of player advantage. Bonker's going to get juggled around and sent into the floorboards, so they're going to really have to give this up, and Martin's team is just going to take this without even having to use, so you can even still use this Uber into Lost. It's really on KRITZBERG to try and milk this either as long as they possibly can or kite it as best as they can. They're very far back, obviously. Uber does come out, and they're going to send in Warped immediately into the combo. Deli's going to pick up Wanzu as well, but it's going to be the only kill so far, and they're actually going to lose Jevin. They're going to trade Paparazzi, but that doesn't even matter, because everybody in spawn means they can just cap out the point for a 3rd round.
Yeah, there you go. That is 3 up now for the Bosco. We've seen this before. They looked pretty strong early on. Granted, the beginning was actually really close with this map as well here, but still, they're staying in control for the most part, this map right now. Let's see if KRITZBERG can find the switch here, whatever managed to turn things around for them last time. To just find some anti on the mid, but for now, I mean, sure, they get 1 kill early, but Warp just instantly cleans up with a late fast rollout. Sometimes this is the better fast rollout.
Yeah, and as it turns out, it gives you a nice advantageous trade out of it as well. The rest of the mid, though, a little bit more dangerously, a little bit more slowly, and a lot better positioning for the KRITZBERG players here. Beaver's going to pick up Deli off the back of it. Paparazzi's going to clean up Warped as well, so the frags are definitely falling in favor of KRITZBERG, and you're not gonna stop the pressure either. You're gonna send a Jevin so deep onto Graba. That's all they needed. That's all they needed on the side of us.
Madman. That turned things around quite a bit here, yeah. I mean, I was about to note how they all played high ground there on the mid fight, which even with the medic, which you already see, but they all just took the high ground to try to just not give them any space here, but nope, instantly turned around in the favor of the Bosco once again, getting 2 late kills as well, and the Scout's not able to find the kill onto Martin here at all. They're taking mid back pretty quickly here, and there you go.
That's all they needed. Yep, they're gonna take mid off the back of it, have a full ad to work with. Paparazzi is already building a sentry gun, interestingly enough, on second, so I wonder how that one's gonna go. We're gonna have to see, I suppose. I have a feeling that is probably a meme play. We might be entering meme time, and I dread it. I really do. Please don't give up yet, KRITZBERG. I mean, you still got a lot of time left. You might have just lost 2 players on second, but you can still hold last. You're like 75%. There's a chance here.
That's not enough.
Martin's gonna use fruit. They're gonna lose Graba immediately, so it's gonna be a nope from them. The second does just now get capped out, so there's not gonna be much cap time on the last. If they can hold on to here long enough, Paparazzi and Wonju can buy enough time. Bonker's now respawning as well. They might actually be able to hold on to this for a little bit longer, but the frags are just falling in their favor. For the bus crew here, it's only Paparazzi left, and he's gonna get cleaned up as well, so
yeah, eventually Idlos realizes, wait a second, we could cap this as well. Well, they're spending so much time just fighting everybody, which, granted, at least didn't go bad. That's the worst case scenario here, taking the fight instead of the cap and just losing it outright. But no, they were winning that one. They controlled the pace. They had player advantage by a mile for what it's worth anyway. So a very much hard to lose fight, and as much as they tried to drag it out, it didn't last long enough for the spawns to make a difference here. Match point for the Busterfields might be the final round they play for the regular season.
We're gonna have to see if that is the case, or if they suddenly whip out some insane strategies never seen before, as we're headed into our potentially final mid-fight. Morton is going to go down very early, and they're actually going to nuke down 3 players, as a matter of fact, and the 4th one quick to follow as well. So looking really good for KRITZBERG on this mid. Apparently the change of pace was really what they needed, as they're going to wipe the bus crew. And all they needed to do was just make sure Stan doesn't die instantly. Apparently that's all they needed, as they're now going to take second off the back of it for free as well. and they're gonna have a full Uber to take into last. So this might very well be the round that they needed. This could be the good old TCM that we so love to see. They're gonna shut down these spawners. The Uber does come out of Graba there as well, but they're not gonna accomplish much yet. Just a little bit of cap time, and with nobody really dying beyond Jevon, this might be precarious. No, okay, they're gonna get enough cap time down. They're gonna cap out that quick round.
I'm sure some of KRITZBERG were around at the time for the TCM as well. So maybe they believe. We'll see, I guess. 4-1.
Anything can happen.
Tough one, but there's plenty of time for it if they can just keep up this momentum once again. That they somehow just unlock when it seems all over. I mean, maybe it's a chance.
It's like a special effect that only activates when you're about to lose. Suddenly the team gains like
Polish players.
Yeah, like gains like a plus 15 to all stats or something like that. It's crazy. They're suddenly playing out of their minds. They're going to see if they have to actually keep this up here. Deli's going to be the first player to get picked up yet again, but they're going to lose too quickly as a return. They do pick up Martin though, so if they can play the heals here, Graba can keep his players alive, or they can keep Graba alive. This could very well still be a mid in the favor of KRITZBERG. Stan's going to get a nice pipe onto Warp to open that up. It's only two, now one scout left, and they're going to wipe Bus Crew yet again. My lord, KRITZBERG, what happened? What did they unlock? They must have opened Pandora's box or something. I don't know what is going on.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they're gonna just keep going at it. They are fighting like mad ones here. It's just all aggressive on mid. They know they have nothing to lose anymore, really, so might as well just give it their all here. They want to have the comeback happen. They are 3 big steps away from it, but one small one already making in the right direction here with the mid win here. And as much as Martin is at a disadvantage, they can't waste much more time here. They have to chew through this defense hold very quickly.
They're also going to use very, very early, afraid of the sniper there. Sentry's going to live for a long while as well, but Stan is going to clear the stickies off the point, and that might just be enough. Yeah, they're just going to cap it out. The Quickie Bomb launcher coming in very useful there. They're not going to make the same mistake of having 3 players down the point yet again. So, yet another quick one, and again, just snacked it right from under their noses. Interesting strats. Interesting rat strats coming out of the Polish players here, just sneaking those caps out as best as they can. Let's see how this next mid is going to go for them. They're certainly picking up the pace here. Bonkers is going to trade for Deli early. They're just going to shut that man down every mid immediately now. So let's see how the rest of the mid is actually going to go with that quick one. Warp is going to pick up Wanzu, and Beaver is going to die as well. So it looks like Buskro found their footing again in this mid fight. They're going to lose Jevon, but for the most part, KRITZBERG are already going to have to be out of this.
Oh, Graba going down as well.
No.
Just can't leave through choke fast enough. And that makes a massive difference. Suddenly, this is not just a mid loss. This might just be them sitting on last. Yeah, best case scenario even. As the end result here, they will have to hold on to hope here that Basku cannot extend the lead once again back to a 3-round deficit even. Bad enough as is. It's far gone from match point maybe at this point, but still a lot of work to make back from even if they don't lose the next round instantly here.
I want to see how KRITZBERG are going to weasel their way out of this one, somehow still hold on to it. We do have Beaver and up on the sniper. He gets a nice little shot onto Nation to open it up, but yeah, he's going to get pushed as well. Warp is going to die though, but they're going to pick up Stan and Wanju as well. Beaver doesn't hit the shot onto Deli, and he doesn't hit the shot onto Martin either. Doesn't hit the second one. And that could be it for his run on the sniper there. That's him getting taken down. So he missed the crucial shots, and unfortunately, that's going to be Martin taking his full Uber now into a last here. He's going to use it off as well. Nice early pipe by Deli onto the combo there. But he doesn't get the kills just yet. Jevon's going to have to help that with that a little bit. They're going to pick up Stan as well. No cap time yet, but it doesn't matter because everybody's dead.
That is the 5-2 once again. Basku not letting themselves get just counteracted this easily. It's still possible, of course, for KRITZBERG here, but they need just that bit more. Basku not going out without a fight here. 10 minutes left. Anything's still possible, but still 2 more rounds once again are just going to spell the end of the game if KRITZBERG cannot find counteraction against it first.
It's going to be very, very, very close. If KRITZBERG can actually keep this, still get back into this, maybe it was just, a toss-up of a mid, you never know. Jevon's going to trade for Bonkers early on, so that's 2 players out of it, of the mid-fight. Dell's going to get taken down, but he's going to trade for Beaver, and then now no demo on the side of Busker means Martin's going to be a little bit in danger here as well. He's going to have to run away. Aidless is going to get taken down together with Warped as well. Paparazzi's on the chase for Nation here. He's going to get help from Wanju as well, and actually Stan is just going to clean up Martin. So, again, a very, very, very good mid out of KRITZBERG. They're not even going to cap the point just yet. Let's take their sweet time here, but that's basically just because half the team is already on last trying to shut down the spawners as best as they can.
It makes me wonder, why can't they just play this unhinged from the beginning? They really just need the extra reason to go for it, or maybe quicker into these matches to just play like this, but it's still possible. We can't understate this. This is still plenty of time for this to work here, and for that, however, this push needs to work. First of all, here Uber through, but they don't find much with it at all. Don't even get much cap time. The stickies are just flying onto the cap here, finding some damage getting dealt, but is it gonna be good enough? Bomb through by warp onto cap, trying to block it, and everyone's trying to cap it out. It's just getting denied pretty quickly.
Yeah, they're gonna not get enough cap time early on during that Uber, and Graba is gonna find himself as the only player left alive. If nobody goes through one, which at least currently seems to be the case, I think we're probably gonna see somebody come back in the name of Nation. He's gonna be the one to be like, hold on, we didn't kill the medic, where is he?
That is a Graba moment.
Decides to check and shoots him in the back. So unfortunately, Graba's not gonna get away with a cheeky play that he was trying to set up there for. And the bus crew, I think they're tired. They're a little bit tired of the bullshit that's been happening. So they're just
they just want to
try
get
to
things
round
back
this
on
out.
track,
Yeah, they're just gonna want to get this over with. They're not taking any chances. They're gonna clean up Beavern there, and just continue rolling this forward as a team. Paparazzi's up on the sniper, not gonna be able to hit the shots that he needs to though. And with Martin full on the Uber, Deli's gonna actually just basically kill himself and choke, but I don't think it's gonna slow them down too much with how much pressure they're already putting on the players, and the fact that they still do have the Uber that they can use at a moment's notice if they so desire. You should be seeing them take the second here decently easily. But
that's a bit of a fight. Stan is still contesting from Rollout quite a bit. In the meantime, though, Javin's already all the way on last. Just caught out alone. Goes down to Vonchu here. Cap slowly but surely going the way of the Busker here. And yeah, I feel like you're right on Nosy. The Busker just wants to get things back on track. They don't want to have to deal with KRITZBERG just playing whichever way they want to right now. They want to get their consistent playstyle going through once again onto the cap with Lieber coming out really late. Grabber just doesn't quite have yet, and everyone's just getting juggled off to not even let them get a chance to take it in the first place.
That's going to be the 6-2. Just one more round, and Busker has this in the bag. Finally, the game is going to be over for them. Or,
maybe,
you know, we could see 4 rounds come out of KRITZBERG suddenly. You never know. Anything is possible at this point. I do believe in miracles, and we're going to see how this is going to go. I think this mid is basically going to decide the fate of the rest of the game, as we're going to see Stan still rocking those quickie bombs, but going dangerously low there. Warp is going to be the first player to go down, though. Wanju is going to trade for his steed. In the meantime, there's still not much happening, though. Both teams being a little bit more careful here, not taking too much ground. They do have one player in behind with Jevin, so he is shut off from the rest of his team on Bus Crew. Meanwhile, Stan and Graba are in the Bus Crew's IT, so it's a very interesting rotating play. Stan is just going to jump up onto Deli, actually. The bit is looking pretty good for KRITZBERG all of a sudden. It's only Nation right now contesting the point at all, and he is very much alone.
Warp in?
But jumps in, does get
Huge.
Graba. That was huge.
Yeah, Warp, just perfect timing, gets them all caught between one soldier in the corner and the other one flying in the really, really big play, and Nation even cleaves up more at the end. Vonchu going down incredibly late. Bonkers is still somewhere hiding about. They might be worth it. In fact, yeah, Nation finds that one too. Maybe can claim the kill here pretty quickly. Beeps a bit, doesn't have the shot, can't load it, nor the pistol, but Deli comes in to save that one just in time. That was Nation on the brink of death there, but saved by his fellow Frenchman. I don't know why I say fellow, he's Czech. But his teammate anyway.
Okay.
Either way, this was a nail biter mid, but in the end, Bosco will take it. Maybe just enough to get momentum going towards last year, slowly but surely.
Yeah, again, I feel like Busker are not taking any strings here anymore. Wanju's gonna kick up a little headshot there onto Warp. I think on KRITZBERG they're just on a rotation now. Everybody gets one turn to snipe, and right now it's Wanju, and he's hitting a lot of body shots, and players on the Busker are just deciding to stand still. So he's having some fun with that. Dell's gonna pick up Paparazzi, and Wanju is gonna try to continue his sniping spree. Currently, they have lost 2 players trying to make room for this though. And Deli is hanging on surprisingly long, finally gonna die to Beavern though. And KRITZBERG, while still in this game, I think now have mathematically lost the map, so yeah.
Not quite yet. We can talk about that again in like about a minute. Until then, there's like technically still a time to do it.
Suppose.
Not realistically. Let's be like very transparent about that, maybe. But I mean, for now, there's still at least, I mean, I guess even without a reason, then Basku and KRITZBERG will probably just fight this out to the bitter end.
I would like to point out that paparazzi is on Force of Nature.
I mean, I've seen a lot of people use it. Well, maybe not a lot, but, you know, a couple of high diff players in the past. Presently, you have someone in Australia, I think?
I do believe, yeah.
Not if you're a soldier.
It's a very fun weapon if you're not a soldier. He's gonna pick up Delhi with it right away, so he's gonna make use of that weapon in some way, shape, or form. I believe KRITZBERG are just having fun now. Gonna see how much they can do with this, as Busker are gonna try to not make the scoreline look any worse. You know, in their favor, for the least. They only have to hold for 4 more minutes, and then everything will be over. They could probably just go AFK for 4 minutes, and everything will be over.
I don't know about that, but at the very least, yeah, this is certainly a game win for the Busker here. What a game it was, though. Like, I mean, without any context on this one, you look at this game and you wouldn't really tell that this was a game that, like, technically didn't matter, because both of these teams just really wanted to win. Nobody, like, gave up here at any moment, really. Maybe now a little bit here, now that we're really ending the end of the match with a definitive 4-round difference. But apart from that, it's just been really, really close fight the entire way through, and even now, KRITZBERG is still trying to take the fight to them, and they're winning a few of these to the point where they play at.
Yeah, I really feel like KRITZBERG have been the better, like a team that just always comes out on top of these fights here, very, very frequently. It's quite surprising, but they always make it work somehow. And you know, even if they're in a horrible disadvantage, they somehow manage to find those crucial picks. Stan is just gonna bomb in, make Morton pop there as Delhi gets picked up by an arrow, and we're in the stage of the game where it's hard to follow what is happening, as Martin just gets, you know, just decides to stand still in his Uber because he's all alone.
Oh, the one thing to follow here is the blood trail leading currently towards Basku's last. A long Uber there chased through. Sure, Grabber went down, but they got some kills going. B1 with a last-second frag before Jevon could take him down and run out as well. And Stan is still in for that matter. Not trying to back off here at all, but as one player alone, Daddy will just about have what it takes to take him out as well here. I mean, this game might be over, but they can still make the scoreline better. Here, 6-3 sounds a lot better. And with the chaos going on here at the last minute as well, probably a little bit more representative. 9 rounds is certainly something you don't see all too often here. So they want another one. They want to make their standings look a little bit prettier in this round that they're about to get here with no one to protect the point anymore. Certainly is going to do that.
Yeah, it's not going to look as horrible if you lose 6-3. And I mean, when is the last time we've seen 9 rounds out of a Prem match? I think it's been a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it has been a little bit, because usually when you see a lot of rounds, it's a roll. And then all you see is 5, obviously. And, you know, most games are so close that you see like a 1-0 or 1-1 golden cap or something like that. So I'm very happy we see a very fast-paced game for once, where teams are just, they're actually converting rounds. So we're going to see how this last mid is going to go, and right now, at least, it's definitely looking to be going in favor of KRITZBERG. Jevon is going to get a nice little rocket, but ultimately, his team is still out onto second. Bonkers is just going to get absolutely denied, just kept in the air, levitated around, and Wanju's going to get a meme spoon. That's all that matters.
2 for the price of 1. Grab the sauce as well, doing what he does best. Which, I guess, is getting sauce and dropping Wonshu, maybe? I don't know about the second part. Definitely the first one. Stan comes in to at least make something happen with the invincibility, and Grabber is just gonna cut off the action for the demo man as well. There's no better way to end this game if you're Grabber.
He's done it. You love to see it. You love to see it. Alright. Well, that's gonna put a cap on it. The mid fight is over. Players are just gonna try to go for some wacky highlight kills here. Jevon just getting more nice rockets onto scouts. And Nation has been sniping for the entire time now. Wanju's still going to try to get some meme spoons. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to pull it.
Even also just one-tapped Aedalos just for the flex with the pistol.
You love to see that.
So everyone's having the time of their life now for the last few seconds here. But yeah, for the KRITZBERG, their season is over. They will be, what was it, 6, right? Very unfortunate, actually, that game ended up being this close, where a new team was able to at least get 1 point out of Basku last week. They were just about falling short getting any of them, and were close to actually making that happen, to be fair. But won't be getting, even 1 point wouldn't have been enough. They need like 4 or 5 maybe to make up the difference to 5th place. Basku, on the other hand, with the competitive season they had all across the board here with just about everybody, for that matter, will be getting a whole 6, putting them, I think, to like 26, I think, is flat, actually, which is still fourth cannot be changed regardless of anything else happening here in the other game, which might still be happening. So unless you have any last shoutouts, we can probably just move this over to the other game quickly.
I don't have anything to add. I believe the other game is still going on. We've got a few minutes there. Yeah, I think we should just send it over to them and see how that one's going. It looks very close. So.
Yeah, that one has definitely playoffs implications as well. If you were just here watching people, play, here's the stages for the playoffs here. Feint and Swift playing against each other, and Feint has to defend the second place here. So we'll see you guys next week for playoffs.